Hello friends, this is Terry at my cottage up north. Well, in the previous video we did the juicing of our blackberries. So today now we're going to make the jelly. So we'll get set up for that and I'll show you what's involved with it, and we'll give you a little tutorial, if you want to call it that, of how I make jelly. Everybody makes it different. Yeah, I'm starting to get things set up for it. I've got the juice here. Get some tongs, magnet, this for the jars. What else do we need out of here? Oh, we're going to need lids. These I heat up in a little saucepan. That's just some of them, but gotta get our little saucepan. These in here. Like I was saying, I gotta separate these. These are generic lids that I bought when, I don't know if you remember, a couple years back or a year or two back. I don't know what exactly it was, but there was a big shortage of them, canning supplies. Probably it was during COVID, I think. But anyway, I couldn't get any of the brand name lids, so I bought a bunch of generic ones. And out of all the ones I had, I only had one that refused to seal, so they work okay. Yeah, I'm getting things ready. I'm ready to put the juice in. I need 4.5 cups of juice. That was 2. There's 4. Now I have, should put the 1/2 cup in first. That looks right. There we are. It's going to go in the sink and be rinsed. For the next time, this can be set aside. All right, now we got to put that on the stove. All right, I've got this on the stove. It's starting to heat up. Now, it don't look like much in there, but when you do this, it tends to foam. According to the directions, it says I should put the pectin and a little bit of sugar in there right now, but I like to heat it up first. When I first start seeing bubbles come out, then I put the pectin in, and then I have to start stirring from there on. Which reminds me, I gotta get out a nice spatula here. So we'll wait for that to come up to temperature. In the meantime, my jars are over here getting heated up. and sanitized. And my lids are in the back here. And I got to get them turned on a little. I just have those on low. Now I got to get a bunch of lids. And the lids are there, but I got to get a bunch of rings. I got all my rings out, and this was starting to get a hot spot in it, so I stirred it a little bit. I gotta set my timer for 1 minute. Once I put the full amount of sugar in, I gotta bring it up to back up to a boil. And then I have to, oh yeah, see now it's not so chunky. Now that it's heating up, it's thinning out. That's what I thought would happen. Like I said, once I bring it up to a boil, after I put the sugar in, then you only cook it for 1 minute. And they want it pretty precise. This shouldn't take too much longer now. It's hot enough now, I think I can put this sugar and pectin in. Gotta be careful putting this stuff in or she'll clump up and you'll have chunks. In a little at a time. I don't have the problem if it's straight sugar. It's just with the pectin. That's it. Now this is going to come to a rolling boil. Then I have to put the rest of the sugar in. And now it's time for the regular sugar. There, it's all in there. Like I said, I don't have a problem putting the sugar in pretty fast. That doesn't clump up like the pectin does. Okay, now I got to bring it back to a rolling boil again, and then it's 1 minute. Once I get the jars filled, then they got to go into the canner here, I got to bring that up to a light boil, it says, and leave them in there for 5 minutes. And what that does, I don't know, but I've done it in a few other years and it works. So I'm not going to try to figure out what works and what doesn't. Now it says to bring it to a rolling boil and then do it for 1 minute. But sometimes it foams up so bad I have to turn the heat down a little bit. It's still boiling, but I have to turn the heat down a little bit so it don't run over the top. Yeah, we're starting to get, you'll see it, it'll start coming right up in the kettle. I think we're just about there to start the timer. Yep, start the timer. This is where you got to be really watching it. As you can see, it's starting to come up. And the first time I did this, I wasn't watching closely. I ran it all over the stove, and man, was that a cleanup job. So I watch her pretty close now. This one ain't too bad. I think if I keep it stirring it, I'm not having it make a mess. That's it. And she is done. I'll get you over there so you can see what I do. Now we gotta have some gloves on. That stuff is hot. Yeah, we take the first jar, set her up, get this out of the way. Set her up here, turn this so you can get real close. Now you're supposed to do them a 1/4 inch from the top. And that's just about where the threads start. Now we take a lid, set it on there, take a ring, tighten it up. And just keep doing that until we're finished. Well, isn't quite enough in that one. Let me get a piece of paper towel. Try to keep this cleaned up here. All right. Now a ring. There, I think we're probably going to be on our last one here. Yeah, I don't think this one, if it fills it, it's not going to fill very much. I mean all the way to the top. Okay, time to get rid of that. Take my spatula. I don't try to get everything out of here. Just the stuff is jelly. The crap around the edges, I don't worry about. And we'll just drop that all in there. Yeah, I figured it wouldn't even make a half a jar, and it didn't. Now what I do is, on this funnel, it's starting to set up on here, so I scrape this down and get that into it. And then the hot stuff below will remelt it a little bit. There. Now, this one, I'll put a cover on, and I just leave him sit here. And he'll be the first one filled when I do the next batch. But that's the way it is. That's what we do. I'm not going to show you all of it, but I'll bring it back when we're done. How does that sound? Because I won't even put them in the canner yet until I get enough to fill it. And that's 12 or 13, probably about 12, I think. What do I have in there? 8, 10, 12, 13. So 13 will fill it with those bigger ones. These smaller ones will probably be. So by the time I get all of these done, here, I don't know if you can see it or not. By the time I get all of these done, then I'll probably have the canner full and I can do it. And then I'll start working on the little ones. These are half pints, these are 3/4 pints. So now we just gotta clean this stuff up and start the next batch. So I'll bring it back when we're done. Well, this is Terry again. We're back. I've got my last few jars in the canner now. That's why it's beeping, because it's up to temperature. There, had that beeper turned off. I got the last few in there. I think there's 4, but I ran out of the small jars where I usually use. So I had to put some in pint jars, and that's the 4 that's in there. They're in pint jars. Okay, let's get this out of the way here. All right, this is what I've got. There was 6 batches. And like I said, I ran out of these smaller jars. So the last 4 in that little bit had to go in pint jars. I wasn't going to go buy any more of the small jars, just for that little bit. So, but when we get that done, then we'll give a final count. Now, I have a lot of cleanup yet to do, but this will end the video for today. Oh, there one just popped. If you watched to the end, I thank you for that. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. You never know what I'm going to get into. And then hit that like button. That helps a lot. It makes people more play. So, till the next one, this is Terry at my cottage up north. Bye.